Hey guys, welcome to another Lunchtime review. Today I'm going to try one of these Yellowstone smoked pulled pork mac. It's Cavatappi pasta with smoked pulled pork in a 5-cheese blend. Said it's a product of Canada. That's interesting. It's a 16-ounce, 454-gram meal, so it's a pretty good-sized meal. You can see Canada right there. Let's see, it's a frozen dinner, so it says keep frozen. We bought these at Kroger. It was $10.99. So it's a little expensive, but like I said, I think it's a bigger meal. So yeah, there's 2 servings per container. 1 cup or 202 grams is 340 calories. To eat the whole container, it's 770 calories. So really, these are sold as being a meal for 2, but we'll see what it's like when I get it opened. It's actually pretty heavy, so we'll see. Let's see. Gives the description. Yellowstone smoked pulled pork mac is essential cowboy comfort food, crafted in small batches. All pulled pork is smoked with whole hardwood logs for a full flavor. When perfectly tender, the meat is layered into jumbo cavatappi spirals and smothered in our rich cheddar cheese sauce. Whether enjoyed as a side or as a meal unto itself, Yellowstone smoked pulled pork mac is sure to satisfy. So there's a couple different ways they're listing. Conventional oven, of course we don't do ovens on this channel, but if it's actually the recommended way is what they're saying. But do it in the oven if you want to. We don't do ovens, we do microwaves. So the microwave directions are: lift 1 corner of film, place on a microwave safe plate. I wonder why. I'll do that, but I wonder why. Microwave on high for 3 minutes, mix the contents well, and then microwave for an additional 1 minute or until internal temperature is 165, because you've got your thermometer on you, right? I'm guessing you recover it, so mix it. It doesn't say recover, but I'm assuming you do, because it doesn't say remove the cover. And it says do not use a toaster oven or convection oven, so do not broil. And you probably couldn't fit it in an air fryer if you tried, because it's a little big. So this is the size of the container. A hand for reference, about the size of your hand. Looks pretty good. Lots of cheese in there, that's for sure. Not a lot of pulled pork that I see, but maybe it's, I don't know. We'll see what it's like when it comes out. So I'm going to vent a corner. I'm just going to pull this corner up right here and vent it. I'll put it on a plate. I'll put it on a regular plate I have at home, but we'll put it in the microwave. I'll be back. Okay, so here it is out of the microwave, and the plate was perfectly clean. Like I said, I think it's just to elevate it off the bottom of the microwave. I don't know why you would need it necessarily, because mine already has a glass turntable, so I don't really think I need it. It's steamed up a little bit. Sorry. So it looks pretty good. There's more pork in there than I thought. It's all really mixed in with the macaroni and cheese, so you can really see there's quite a bit all mixed in together. So they just didn't put it on top. They mixed it in together, then put it in the container, so you just couldn't see it as well. So I'm gonna take this over the table and we'll give it a try. Okay, let it cool off just a minute. So I've got macaroni and cheese and pulled pork all on the fork. I'm expecting like a good cheesy macaroni and cheese with a little bit of that pork meat flavor, maybe a little smokiness. It'd be nice if the pork was seasoned as well as just pulled, but we'll see. Here we go. Okay, you do get a little bit of flavor of the pulled pork. I'm gonna try to get just some of the macaroni, although it's really hard to do because it's all mixed together. Cheese is not bad. The pasta's cooked really well. It's a little, just a touch softer than I personally like it, but it's fine. It's right. It's cooked well. Literally, it's almost impossible to get a piece of the macaroni by itself without getting some of the pulled pork in there, because it's such a, they've put a lot of very small pieces of pulled pork in there, like really tiny shreds, and it's really hard to get a piece that doesn't have that. Got a pretty good idea of the cheese though. The cheese is, you can tell it's a mix of cheeses. It's not pure like cheddar cheese. And I didn't look at the ingredients to see all what they are, what the different cheeses are, but I see cheddar, club cheese, cheddar cheese, whipping cheese, Romano cheeses, mascarpone cheese, Parmesan cheese. Okay, so it does have a bunch of different kinds of cheeses in there. That's turmeric for color. You can tell it's not just pure cheddar. It does have some other flavors going on. It's really hard to kind of separate the cheese from the pulled pork flavor because there is so much of it. But not a bad cheese sauce at all. You can tell it's actually a cheese sauce and not a, or it doesn't seem to be, like a reconstituted or a powdered kind of cheese. It doesn't seem like it's a powdered cheese, like a Kraft macaroni cheese. It has a little more of a real cheese flavor than the powdered cheese does. So cheese is okay. I wish there was a little stronger flavor of cheese. It's plenty of cheese in here. It's plenty cheesy, like you get the texture, but the cheese flavor is not very, very strong. I don't want you to think it's not there. It's definitely there. It's just not as, if I were to get shredded cheddar cheese and throw on top of this and melt it, you'd be able to really taste that cheese. This is just not that strong. The pulled pork is nice. You definitely get the flavor of the meat, but it's not, you know, I said my expectations were you'd get a little bit of that smoky pulled pork flavor. It's not smoked at all that I can tell. It's just very, very, very little smoke. It's more of just, if you did a pulled pork and you didn't put any seasonings in it, you didn't put any spices, you didn't put any rub on it, you just boiled it or baked it or whatever, grilled it, whatever, and it didn't have any smoke flavor either, that's what you're getting with it. It's just the meat. I mean, you could have put it in a crock pot with nothing in it and pulled it apart, or in the oven with nothing on it and pulled it apart, and it would have been the same flavor. So for me, they fall short a little bit on the flavor. And, well, I'll talk about texture now. So the texture wise, the pasta's fine. It's perfectly cooked. The cheese is good and creamy and cheesy. You get that kind of, it's more like, it's not that stringy pulled cheese that where you pull it up and you get these really long strings of cheese. It's more of a sauce, like it's been melted and mixed together into it. But it's very creamy. I like the texture of that. The pulled pork, occasionally you'll get bigger pieces of pulled pork, not very big, but a little bit bigger. Most of it is very, very, very finely shredded, and which is okay, but I would rather have it in like bigger shreds, not these teeny tiny little pieces or shreds that are almost, you can't hardly see them, but you can taste them. I would rather have a little bit bigger shreds, like longer shreds with bigger hunks in there. That way, not only could I see it better, but I could get that texture of it. Whereas the texture as it is kind of not grainy really, but it's very, very tiny shreds. So you can just tell the difference in the texture. I would have rather had a little bit more chunky shred than they have it shredded in here. So texture wise, it's okay. Again, I would have rather just had a little bit bigger shred on it. Flavor wise, I'm really disappointed in the flavor more than anything. It's not a bad flavor by any means. You definitely are getting the flavor. You're getting the cheese flavor. You're getting that meaty pork flavor, but they missed an opportunity to really like put the pork, the pulled pork seasoning in there. So they could have done a nice rub on the pork before they cooked it. They could have, heck, they could have added a little bit of barbecue sauce to it, or a nice spice rub or something. Add some liquid smoke to it, or smoked it, or something needed to be added to the pork to where it had a little bit more oomph to it. It doesn't have any really, it doesn't get elevated with the pulled pork. The pulled pork is, like I said, just adding a little bit of the meat flavor, and that's it. It's really not adding anything, spices or anything like that. So the flavors are a little flat. The textures are okay. So I don't think it's bad by any means. I do think it's quite a bit of food. I think 2 people probably could eat on that as a side. It's pretty decent size, especially if you're gonna have something else with it. Maybe a sandwich or a steak or a pork chop or whatever, maybe pulled pork sandwiches. Then I think this would be fine for 2 people. One person eating it, like me personally, the way I would eat it is I probably eat like 2/3 of it and it'd be done. It's just not very exciting. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. I could have even edged it up a little bit, maybe to 3.5 out of 5, but that'd be kind of pushing it. I'm really it's just an average meal to me. There's better macaroni and cheese meals out there with pulled pork in them that this just doesn't deliver on the flavor. So hope you enjoy this video, and I'll catch you next time.